Amazon has ruined your customers. Not in a bad way, but in a way where your customers have said, I want this, to I just ordered this. Within 45 seconds, someone has went to seeing something they want to buying something they want. If ordering from your farm takes longer than that, there's a good chance a lot of those people are going to go somewhere else. And that's not because they don't want your product, it's because you made it too hard for them. Remove the friction. Make it embarrassingly easy for your customers to order from you. That's what we're talking about today in Module 8 of the Part-Time Farmer Playbook. So here's the problem. A lot of farms right now are taking orders through Facebook, through Instagram. This is happening through DMs, phone text messages. And while that is a way to communicate, it's not the best way to run your farm or to run any business. Here's typically how it goes. Somebody, say you're putting pictures of your farm on Facebook. Somebody sees that picture and they'll make a comment to express interest or dig a little deeper into what you're providing or whatever picture you showed. But then once that happens, now they've got to wait for a DM back from you. And that could be right away if you're looking at your phone. It could be a while if you're out in the field taking care of chickens or doing something else on the farm. Once they do DM you, then begins this whole back and forth. Hey, what products do you have? Hey, this is what we've got. Oh, do you have it in this size? Let me check. Yes, we do have it in that size. How many of them do you have? I have this many of them. Do you have this to go along with that? I can check on that. Do you guys carry this? And you can see where I'm going here. There is a lot of back and forth. For one, just for the customer to find out what you have. Two, it's a lot of your time to explain what you have. But then let's say you go through all that and then you guys finally agree on something. The customer agrees that you have something they want. You've told them you have what they need. Now they need to pay for it. So, okay, now I'm going to provide you with another link and I'm going to send you to a totally different place to pay for it. Maybe through Venmo, maybe through PayPal. And great, they're gone, but you sent that email, now it's just waiting. Maybe a confirmation comes through right then. Maybe they get sidetracked, decide to go do something else, and then the next morning they order. You just don't know when that order is going to come through. What you don't want to do is go put together this order if you don't know if they're going to buy yet. You haven't seen the payment come through. Tomorrow morning, the payment comes through. Okay, now we have to figure out how to communicate with the customer to get that product. Are you going to tell them to come to your house? They're calling you. Is this like a door pickup? Is there a certain time they need to be there? You have kids, you have an off-farm job, so then you've got to plan it around that stuff. And then again, you go into the DM thing, back and forth. Hey, does this work for you? Does this work for you? And this is just for one transaction. That's easily 10 steps. Maybe you're into 20. I don't know, but it's a lot of steps. Amazon is 2. They see that, they buy that. Any steps beyond that in your process, and customers are going to drop off, which means lost sales for you and your farm. So that's the scenario. Let's talk about friction. What I call that whole scenario that we did, that's friction. That's parts that are rubbing against each other. That's parts that are making it hard for the customer to get from here to there, from seeing what they want to buying what they want. This is just a common occurrence with any kind of DMs, text messages, even phone calls. It's not a good way to sell stuff. And especially if you start getting to any scale, you'll lose your mind doing all these phone calls and back and forths. And it just becomes a job in itself. So friction. Friction isn't just inconvenient. The more friction you have in that purchasing process, the more customers you're going to lose, the more sales you will lose. And this is one of those things that customers aren't even going to complain to you about it. They're just going to drop off, or they're never going to start the process in the first place. Now, I do have a dog in this fight when it comes to websites. I design websites for farms, but this is where a website really shines. A website with online ordering removes almost every one of those steps. Friction's gone. The customer can look around that website, they can see what they want, they can see what you have available, then they can pay for what they want. Then they're also going to get a confirmation that tells them your payment went through and how to pick up your order or whatever process you've set up ahead of time. It's going to convey that to the customer without you having to do a text, lift a phone, or do anything. And then even better for you is you're going to get a confirmation. You're going to get an email saying, hey, this customer who lives here, here's their contact information, this is what they ordered, this is when they're picking up, or this is when they want delivery, or this is when they're going to be at the drop point. It's made it super easy for the customer and super easy for you. No back and forth, no chasing DMs and text messages, no waiting on Venmo confirmations to come through. Now, to break this process down even a little more, when we're talking about friction, that was friction throughout the whole process, if you will. There's also friction within smaller parts of that process that can be removed to make the experience much better. pickup windows or delivery windows are a huge point of friction. If you don't have something set up that conveys all that, again, this becomes a huge back and forth of working around your schedule and working around the customer's schedule. This is why, again, having something that automatically tells the customer, this is when pickup times are, this is when we'll be delivering your order. It sets up those expectations prior to the order. You've already conveyed that information. The customer can make a decision based on that, and it's just all taken care of. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because even with a website, there are still points of friction you have to be aware of. With setting up your pickup window delivery process, you do that once, it communicates to them clearly, and you never have to answer, when can I pick up my order again? It's already taken care of. Another point of friction is minimum orders. If you're doing delivery, you really should have a minimum order in place, because it is not worth your time to take 1 dozen eggs 45 minutes from your farm. That's an hour-and-a-half round trip for you for 1 dozen eggs. It's probably not even going to pay for the gas, definitely not paying for the time it took to do that. So minimum order amounts. Again, this isn't something that Amazon has, but it's something that as a small farm you need to have in place. It can be a point of friction in that things can suffer on your end if you're not protecting your time. Delivery minimums, they serve you both. A minimum order of $99 for delivery or a minimum order of $149, that means that you're not driving across the county for a $20 order. And again, having that conveyed in a website or somewhere so that you're not doing all the back and forth DMs, the customers know that they can plan for a bigger purchase or know exactly what they need to do in order to make an order happen. And I usually stress to farms that pickup and delivery, again, when we're talking about friction, there's friction on the farmer's end too. Pickup, delivery, drop points, those can all be points of friction for you, for your business. I usually tell farmers that that is a business decision. Yes, you want to do as much as you can to be available for customers, but you have to protect your time and your ability to take care of the animals, market your farm, and then be with your family, and if you got an off-farm job. So while being restrictive on that may seem like a point of friction for the customer, again, as long as you've got it open and they know exactly what to expect, it's not really that big of a deal. It is a big deal for you if you don't view that as a point of friction on your end and try to accommodate everything, because it will wear you out. You'll be just spread too thin. So think about what your situation is. Think about what your system is. Where can people come pick up on the farm? Think about, do you have a day off every week that you can do deliveries? Think about, how far are you going to do deliveries? All of these are points of friction that once you get them worked out, they are on the website. You know what you have to work with when orders come in. The customers know what they need to do in order to get an order. So here at Longbottom Farm, here's how we have tried to remove friction. One is we do on-farm pickup. I have a video linked here. You can see the link. I think I'm pointing on the right side. There's a video linked. If not, it'll be below. It'll say skyrocketing your sales. But what we have set up is an outdoor fridge and freezer. When customers order, an order comes in, we get their order ready. They receive a confirmation, hey, we received your order. We'll have your order ready in 24 to 48 hours, and we'll send you an email when it's ready. That gives us a 1 to 2 day window to get that order ready. Again, customer knows, friction removed. We know, or we've built in time to allow us to get that order ready. Then once we get the order ready, all we do is log into the back end of our system, and I hit a button, I copy and paste a templated message that we do for everyone. Just basically says your order's ready, pick up any time between, I think it's 8 and 7. Here's picture, it's already got pictures included, it's got directions to the farm, and it says, thank you so much for your order, thank you for your support, drive safe, and all the best. So something like that you can do for your farm. It's a templated message, it saves me time from having to type every time. And you can even automate this. I've just kept it where I send this template every time because it allows me to get into the back end and just kind of keep up with what's going on, especially if you start to get a lot of orders. But that's it. Now I've put their order in that fridge freezer, I've sent that email, and I'm done. The order may stay in there a week, may stay in there a day, but the customer now has the option to come essentially pick it up whenever they want. It removes friction for them in that I don't have to be there between 3 and 5, or I don't have to be there between 8 and 2 on a Saturday. Pick up 7 days a week, super simple. So that's one big way we removed friction, and it really did skyrocket our sales. We used to put orders in a cooler and put the cooler out, and they'd have a 4-hour window to pick up on Fridays and Saturdays. That still meant I had to go load those coolers, put them out, wait 4 hours, take them all, unload orders if they didn't pick up, put the coolers back, and then repeat the same thing again the next day. And that was just a lot of work that didn't need to happen. It also made it really restrictive for the customers because they literally had a 4-hour window 2 days a week to pick up. And while some will still do that, you're going to lose a lot of sales like that. So this was a way we really opened up sales, pick up 7 days a week, basically dusk to dawn. Something to think about on your farm if you have a location where you can do that. Another thing we did is we offered deliveries 1 day a week. We figured we had Thursdays free, either I or my wife, and that was our day, and it was set. I recommend if you're gonna do deliveries, try to set a same day every week, because you'll get regulars and then it becomes almost like habit. They order from you, you're creating a habit, and they'll order from you every week. So we do Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I tell them we leave it open because until Wednesday night, I don't know how many orders I'm gonna have, so I don't know what my route is. And then the day before, again, I have a templated email that goes out to everybody saying, hey, your Thursday order's on the way, and then it just tells them, not home, leave a cooler out. If you will be home, we'll meet you at the door. If you have any special requests or need to make us aware of anything, please shoot us an email and let us know. And that's it. And again, I don't have to type this every time. It's already set, it's a template, it goes out, and then Thursday, we plan our route and do all the orders, and that's it. We have a minimum order spend in that, which is $50, and there's a $6 charge, and then we do $99, and that's free. Anything over $99, I probably need to bump those up a little bit, but we've got also a pretty narrow delivery area as well, meaning we're about 30 minutes from the farm in any direction and back. So that's another way. We've removed friction. Again, bringing food to your customers, that's super service. That's a personal touch. That's something that, well, grocery stores are starting to do a little bit of it now, but you still have to involve third parties, Grubhub, DoorDash, different things. This is a way that your farm can do that if you have a day available a week that you can do it. And then just the website itself. When we started our website, initially obviously it's to sell, but it became contact us here, and then emails would come in rather than my phone. That allows me to not have to stop what I'm doing to answer a phone. Those emails can come in, and then just later in the day, later in the evening, I can answer everything at once, all together. Ordering, obviously, that was easy. They could see exactly what we had. They knew what was available, and they could order. It had a checkout. So they order, they pay, I get the money, their transaction goes through, and I get a sheet, they get a confirmation. The whole process was taken care of with the push of a button. And I can't tell you how much time that saved me from when we first started doing text messages and DMs. And again, you want those sales, especially in the beginning. But you start to realize that, especially after you start getting 2, 3, 4 sales in a day, and you're dealing with 4 different people texting back and forth, and now you have to figure, well, they can't come today, but they can. Just gets crazy. So you got to have these things in place. And obviously I make websites for farms, but there are other options out there. If you can do a little DIY, you've got Squarespace and Wix. These are DIY systems. You've got Shopify. What we do is it's specifically done for you, where we build out an entire website based on what you need, your colors, your logos. We set your store up like you want it. We put stuff in the back end, forms if you need it, this and that. So it's essentially a done for you service. If you don't have the time, that's where we come in, and then we manage it for you. So if you've got that DIY spirit, those are a couple other options that you can do. You know, I don't want to push a website because I design websites. Obviously, I do want to sell websites, but I can't stress how just in this day and age, if you're a small farm and unless you're doing multiple farmers markets, which that's a lot of work in itself, how much a website can actually take off of your plate, how much time it can save you on the farm, and how much money it can actually help you make. It's really one of the huge things that jumped out at me when doing our farm that has led me down this path that I'm on. So if I could say the 3 biggest things that have made a difference and removed friction for our customers, it would be a website, just because everything that'll happen in a DM is on the website. Having a good pickup system, whether that's pickup on farm, whether that's drop points, whether that's deliveries, or if you're shipping. Having that system in place, again, will save you a ton of time. It will reduce a ton of friction, not only for the customers, but for you as well. So that would be number 2. Having your system of getting the product to the customer laid out so that everybody knows beforehand how that process is going to work. And then number 3, this isn't really a specific thing, but it's more of a philosophy. It's try and look at your farm as systems. You have big systems, you have your cattle operation, and then within that cattle operation, you have a lot of smaller systems. And evaluate those systems like that. Don't try, I mean, you can make big changes, but when you start looking at every little step you're doing and every little piece of those systems that you have, you're gonna find that there's ways you can improve those systems. You're gonna find that there's ways you can make it more efficient, you might can make it cheaper, you can make it save you more time, you can make it where you're just doing it less. So try to think of your whole farm, the farming, the business side, the marketing, try to think of it as systems. Get a system in place and then think of how you can improve those systems. Look at smaller systems within those systems. You know, it's one little thing might not make a huge difference, but when you do that one little thing 100 times, that's time saved, that's money saved. Atomic Habits by James Clear. I've got a link to that below. There was a quote in there that stuck with me. It's that we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. That means we can have all these ideas in place and things we want to do, and those are our goals, and that's what we're working towards, but you will not get there without the systems in place to help you get there. And if you do fall or you do have problems achieving those goals, you're going to end up where your systems are, where your systems have gotten you thus far. So we fall to the level of our systems. So again, number 3, just think about the systems on your farm, small and big, little steps to improve them. Each little thing can make a huge difference in the long run. So just being honest here as well, a website is not going to solve your marketing problem. This is another problem a lot of farms have. Again, website is going to solve your friction problem, meaning when your marketing is good, you got customers coming to you, that's where the friction can hurt you. So that's what a website really solves, is the friction side. Again, marketing is a whole nother monster on its own. If you see the previous video, Getting Your Farm in Front of Eyes, we talk a lot about how to market your farm. And then this video will help you to fix those systems hopefully within your farm so that when you get those customers coming in, they turn into orders and more money for your farm. Also, if you don't have customers yet, this is not step 1. You need to back up a few videos. Again, we're getting to the point now where you're getting text DMs, you're getting people coming to your farm maybe, and this is where friction comes from. And this video is about reducing that friction. If you're not at that point yet, you need to go watch a few of the other videos first that will get you to this point, and then you can deal with that. And included with that, if you're not running into these friction points, you probably don't need a website yet. Kit, again, I talked about in the last video, that's who does my email marketing, that's the service I use. They will give you a free landing page. So you can get a free account with Kit, you've got free email that people can sign up for, send out blogs. You've got a landing page where you can design that however you want. You can't sell from it, but you can still tell your story, build that email list so that when you run into these friction points, when you run into people coming and texting and DMing you, now you've got a place you can send them, and when you get a website, those emails easily transfer to that website, so then you can start marketing to these customers. And then you don't have to build this system overnight. Again, this is an ongoing process. It's something that you're going to encounter a few headaches here, you're going to encounter a few headaches here, but once you start getting more headaches in one area or another, that's when you know, okay, this is a friction point that needs to be addressed. And most likely, if you're having headaches from something, better believe your customers are probably having a headache from it, which means you're losing sales. So getting that fixed means you're in a much better place and you've got more customers that are actually ordering. So something you can do this week, write down every step that you might have went through in selling an order. Try to think of all the little steps, the back and forth, the text messages, even if it's things like a platform they had to use, Facebook or Instagram even to sign in on, and then count the steps. Then, once you've got a number, once you see how many steps are in that process, see if you can get it down. See if you can automate some of those steps. See if you can remove some of those steps. Remove it, simplify it, automate it. And then, next week, do the same thing with another process. And if you are getting a lot of DMs, a lot of text messages, that's a problem we do solve at Homegrown Hosting. Fill out the 5-minute questionnaire at homegrownhosting.com. I'll put together a plan for your farm that will remove all these friction points while you're out in the farm working or you're home sleeping. All right, guys, hope you got something out of this. This was Module 8. We've got Module 9 coming next week, and that's going to be on getting creative with your products. These are ways to take what you're doing, maybe bundle them together, do something with them, and sell more. So stay tuned for that one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.